So this is Baruch here. I'm at the Tikkun elevator call out, and it's late. I've been working today, and it's been a long day. But I just wanted to share some Torah with you, if we could. And we're learning the Zohar of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in Parshas Vaeira. Now today is the second day of the week. It's the day of Gevurah. Let's see what we have here. The Zohar says like this. Yesterday, we learned about the concept of Ad. Ad really means in Hebrew, it means until. So until, but means like it's an ending point in a certain way. And over here, the Zohar is saying that it's actually a connecting point, and it's called Zeranpin. Zeranpin, for those of you who understand the concept of the Partsufim, Zeranpin is the Partsuf which most resembles us. And without this Partsuf, it would be possible for us to stay alive, and without this Partsuf, the world would not exist. This Partsuf has a gematria of 45, which is the same gematria as the word Adam. But it is not a physical Partsuf. It is a Partsuf which passes a kind of a light that we don't really understand, the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. Here's what it says, V'hai Ad, this Ad that we're talking about, the Zer Anpin. What is it? It's Aser the Acher the Kol Citrin. It's a place that joins all sides. Now, one thing would be helpful if you pictured in your mind the name Yud K Vav K, Yud K Vav K, and had it in mind as a ladder effect, so that the Yud is on the top and the final K is at the bottom, and it's Yud, then K below it, then a Vav and a K below it. It turns out that the Vav, which represents their Anpin, and there's lots of different references to this everywhere, uh, is in between the two Hays, the Hay of Ima, that is the progenitor of the Mochin that come into Zer Anpin and actually sustain him and bring him power and energy, and the Hay of the Nukva, who is his mate and his ultimate deposit of that Shefa that he gets from Ima will go through him like a channel into the Nukva. So he says again, V'hai Ad Asa the Achi the Kal Sitrin, the Sitra Daw. From one end, that's the hay up above and the hay down below. There is kind of the his kasher kishra de lo saade, so that he will be able to make a lasting binding, a kishra de lo saade that would never become unloosed. No, never become unloosed. I had the word remove up there, so never lose it. In other words, an eternal binding. So he says the nature of this, of that letter Vav, is that all that is up above and all that below has a tremendous desire for him. Kamadat Oma, like you say, the Pasuk says like this, Ad Tavas Gvo Solom, until you think of the desire, the yearning of the high places of the world. Man inum Gvo Solom. So when you say Gvo Solom, Gvos means high places, high places. So what did you mean when you say that? Elon, Enon, Train, Yamahum. These are the two mothers. Now, what do you mean by mothers? Nukve, one is Malchus. So he says, excuse me, Imahen, Nukve. So I guess there's an Ima and there's a Nuk. That's what we see in other places. One is called Yovel, and the other one is called Shemitah. The Ikun Guvos they're called the high places of the world. Kamadatama, like you say, like this, mina oilam, but the oilam from one end of the universe are the olam. The ad you see is in the middle between the olam and the next olam. Now, the Matuk writes in, we'll prevent parenthesis over here, he says, Yovel, rather, I'm sorry, Ushmita, Kol Chad Minahon Idre Olam. So he says that this is also, each one of them is called an olam. Now, olam is a very interesting word. So he said, even equal guvos olam, and as a result of that, since they're called an olam, they're also at the very top, and we'll see what the Matuk says about that of the world. Now, olam has a lot of different meanings, and really it comes to the basis of the word hidden. So we understand that the idea of olam is God being hidden inside of the world. So let's read the Matuk Medavash now and get more clarity. Mamar Od, and it says furthermore, Ki v'zer anpin hu hamakom shema'ached mekasher l'kol tzadim. The v'zer anpin is the place. Kavayachol, is it possible to say that something is not physical as a place, but he says hu hamakom shema'ached, which joins into one, mekasher, and binds the kol tzadim, all the sides together. And Mefarish explained the tzad ma'ala. So if you see that it's able to bind itself to what is up above, Ma'achid the Bekasher as a Bina. So Bina pours into Zerampin, he ties himself, binds himself to Bina, Emo, with him. But the Tzad Mata, and then on looking at the bottom side, Bekasher as a Malchus Emo, he ties Malchus along with it. Kedei the Hiskayim in order to be able to fulfill through this. Or I guess mean the kaim. I think here mean that his kaim means to sustain himself. His kasher yimachem, to bind himself along with him. Kesher shalom, his own kesher. Yosef lo yisbata lo olam. So he said, let me. I think I read it, but his kasher yimachem kesher shalom yosef. So that's the word that you bind a knot that will not be loosened below Yisbata Olam, and as a result of that, which would cause the Olam, as we understand it, to be lost. Zer Anpin Tavas V'Chukas Bina Umalchus Heimbo. So this way it says that Zer Anpin, the desire of both his mother, that is the progenitor of the Mochim that bring life into Zer Anpin, the Chukas Bina, and that's the desire of Bina, that's his mother, Umalchus, which is his wife, Heimbo. Now all of those are relatively speaking. And because in space, in spiritual space, what is one day the mother is the next day the recipient, or the in other words, Bina receives from Chochmah. Chochmah receives from Eric Anpin. So all of those times that the receivers, that's a female quality, and so therefore sometimes they're male, sometimes they're female, and you have to understand that in spiritual space there's no real up and down, right or left. But we designated, the Rav designates it that way to make it possible for us to understand. So he said, but Chukos Bino Malchus Heimbo, everything that the desire is in Zer Anpin, and he Mefarish and explains, Me Heim HaPartzufim and the Equayim Gevol Zolim, which are the Partzufim that are called the high places of the world. Rama Elo Heim Shtei Malchus, these are the two mothers. Who are the two mothers? Ki Bina he aim the Zun that seals, because Bina is the mother of Zun, is refers to Zer Anpin and Malchus of Etzilus. The Malchus and Malchus of Etzilus, he aimed the Olamos Bia. She's the mother of the lower worlds, of our world. That's Shechina. Because therefore they call the high places, because they're up above, like it's over on top of the everything which is down below it. Now he says, "Oh, Pirish Rashi." So Rashi also says, "No, the pasuk, the megavos the shiranu." There's a pasuk over there. He says they use the word gavos. Sha'imachos nikros gavos. The mother over there, Rashi says that. Behem partzufim on the kevo. So these are the female partzufim. What is a partzuf? A partzuf is a system of life, of light, including 10 spheros. 10 spheros or 9, depending on how we see it at the moment, but it's 10 spheros. And it processes the light from the top to the bottom, and minimizes it so that the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu should be able to come through to us in a very small way. That's what we see. Because Bina is the female of Abba, and Malchus is the female of Zeranpin. In other words, they're the receivers of them. Bina Nick was Yovel, Umalchus Nick was Shemitah. And maybe Raya should cross Olam, and so he brings a Raya that they're called by the name Olam. And he says, Kamadat Omar, Mina Olam, Ba'ada Olam. So you had an Olam, and then you had the Ad, and then you have the Olam. That's the hay on the bottom, and the hay and the Vav in the middle, and the hay on the top of it. Shibirusha, Mina Bina, Adamal. That's here, this Torah here. This is Baruch Fleischman, Tikkun Elevator Kolo.